If by any miracle you haven't heard, I'm here to tell you that the F175 season launch took place this week on Tuesday at London's O2 Arena, and I have some thoughts. Liberty Media's quest to commercialize F1 to high heavens is clearly still on the rise. Look, I love the concept of having a combined car reveal for all the teams, as it can be somewhat chaotic to follow each individual launch spread out over a 2-week time frame. Not that those are over, by any means. But as Jack Whitehall tells us 6 minutes into the event, this was just a livery reveal. And there weren't many changes to show in the first place. The show, and I have to call it that, as it really was all about the glamour, lasted a full 2 hours. If you happen to watch the spectacle, you might have been wondering how much time was actually dedicated to revealing each car. And I have the answer for you. Are you ready? Around 32 minutes combined. This is without the individual intros like Aston Martin's greenish James Bond theme or Stake's apocalyptic drum opening. All this to say, 75% of the show was, well, garnish. Don't get me wrong, the aesthetics were great and you could watch the whole thing for free, plus Jack Whitehall was funny. Although I would say that his thirsting over Leclerc clearly did not put the Monegasque driver at ease. In fact, almost all of the drivers looked uncomfortable throughout the entire event. Musical taste is subjective, but did we really need Brian Tyler's 4-minute Zumba class? The man is a legendary composer. He scored the F1 theme song, Iron Man 3, Avengers Age of Ultron, and more. So it was quite strange to see that not only did very few people enjoy the extra long innuendo, but most viewers didn't even recognize him until Laura Winter introduced him. For most people, the highlight of this humble production was the loud and clear booing of the FIA. But for me, nothing could top the irony of that everlasting live Mercedes pit stop, which took place right after the team's short segment on their historical excellence. That said, I have to give them credit. They kept their intro short and actually showed delivery for more than 4 minutes. I'm quite sure Kimi will find his footing quickly, as he was the only one who knew where to stand on stage. Red Bull, on the other hand, went with their weird gameplay / step-up intro, after which they brought out the same car as always, with a bunch of people jumping up and down behind Verstappen and Lawson for a total of 30 seconds. None of them were allowed to speak, but at least Lawson's new hairstyle added some nuance to the whole thing. Speaking of Red Bull, their beautiful 2021 Turkish livery made a return. Only this time, the team is called Visa Cash App Racing Bulls. I had the fortune of hearing the title sponsor's name about 5,000 times from this guy, whose name I won't even attempt to pronounce because I would only butcher it. You know what else I heard about 5,000 times? Jokes about how short Tsunoda and Hajar are. Short-legged, to be precise. That said, I have to highlight some positives. Shining Star Joy Exotic, Gordon Ramsay's uncensored opinion on swearing, Whitehall's Godfather intro, and a grandiose 1-minute display of all 20 drivers on stage with their respective liveries. But hey, at least the Take That outro was 7 minutes long, and we got our Brad Pitt dose as well. All in all, I think the show was fine, but with all of its content and spectacle, it reminded me of the Las Vegas GP, and it's hard to ignore that drivers don't seem to be loving their growing media importance. I'll end this video with the same sentiment that I had started with. Great concept, with loads of future potential, but if you take the glamour away, all that we get are 2 to 4 minute reveals, or in the case of Red Bull, a muted driver pair with half the step-up crew behind them for a mere of seconds. Still much more enjoyable than the FIA award ceremony. But what do you think? Should F1 host this collective launch every year? Did you like how the concept was executed? Let me know in the comment section below.